Welcome to our today's tutorial, and we're going to learn how to update data in our contacts table in an SQLite database. And also we are going to use the ADO.NET data providers for SQLite to be able to perform the update function. And also we are going to build on top of our last tutorial, whereby we learned how to retrieve information from our contacts table just by double clicking on a row in our data grid. Example, when I click on the first row, it gives me contact information about Sam, who is the first user. When I click on our third row, it gives me information about Dwayne Johnson's, and the same for Oprah Winfrey, and also the same for Mark Zuckerberg. So I will close that form, and what I will do is double click on the update button to expose the code view and the update click event handler. And on top of our update form, we imported the system.data and system.data SQLite libraries, and also we have got the connection string that we used, and it has got our data source, which is the contacts database, and also we are using the version 3 of the SQLite database. And therefore, first things first, I will write the SQL statement for updating information. I'll call it SQL update as a string equals update, and our table name is TBL contacts, and I will say set first name equals, and we're going to use parameterized queries, and I will say at first name, comma, then I will say last name, and I will say at last name. I'll put a comma, then I'm going to wrap to the next line. Then I will say phone equals at phone. Then I will say sorry, it's supposed to be gender first. Gender equals at gender. I love to put this information in order. In our form 1, we created the contacts table in our previous tutorials, and you can see that after last name it's gender, then phone, then email. And we'll say phone, then email information, where ID equals at ID. So that's our update SQL statement. And also we are going to create a connection object called object connection as new SQLite connection, and we're going to pass the connection string here. I will copy that as a parameter in our SQLite connection object. I will also create object command, which is a command object, as new SQLite command, and I will pass the connection object as a parameter for the SQLite command object. So I will say object connection. After I've done that, I will bind my parameters to my command object, and how I can do that is through the parameter object of the object command. Then I'll say object command dot parameters dot add with value. Then I will say at first name, and this is supposed to be inside the double quotes. Then I will say txt first name dot text. So I will just copy this. I'll press Ctrl C so that I save on time and typing. So I will say last name, txt last name dot text. Then we've got gender. Then I will say combo box gender dot text. Then phone. Txt phone dot text. And email, txt email dot text. And also we've got our ID here, and for our ID we are going to use the public contact ID variable that we use in our form 1. This is the contact ID containing the ID information on any contact that we click on our data grid view. So I will say form 1 dot contact ID. Then the next step is to specify our command type. So our obj command dot command type is going to be text. So I'll say command type dot text, because here the SQL statement for the update is in text format. If we use a stored procedure, we can choose the stored procedure, but in our case we are using the text. Then we are also going to specify the command text to be the SQL update string. After I've done that, then I will now open the connection to the SQLite database, and the way I love to do it is to check if the connection is already open. So I'll say if obj connection dot state equals connection state dot closed, then obj connection dot open. Immediately after we've opened our connection object or our connection to the database, we need now to execute the update command. We're going to use the object command to do that, and I will say int dim result as integer equals obj command dot execute none query. This will always return the affected rows. The execute none query will always return the number of affected rows after the execute statement, the update statement has been successfully executed, and we are going to store that into the result variable. And immediately after we've done that, we'll close the connection object because it is a very precious resource. Object connection dot close, close. Then we are going to check if indeed our update was successful. So if it returned the number of affected rows, that means it will return 1 because you are updating only one row. So that means that the value for the result, if it is greater than 1, then our update was successful. So I'll say if result was greater than 0, sorry, if the result is greater than 0, Then I will show a message box dot show. Then I will say update was successful. Then after that, I will set the connection object to nothing, and also the object command to nothing. This is to enable them to be captured by the garbage collector, so that it can free up the resources in our system. So I will save my project and I will run. So I'll give it time to build, and the build was successful, and there is our form. So here we can note that Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook wasn't spelled correctly, so I will double click on Mark Zuckerberg and I will put a K there, and let's say I will change the phone number to maybe 55 from 44. Then I will say update. Then it tells me the update was successful, and immediately I close my form, and I launch it again. We see now the information has been successfully updated. Here the Facebook has a K, and it's got also a 55. For Mark Zuckerberg, we change it from 44 to 55. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and see you